All right. Welcome to the Sharp Mind Show, episode 71. I'm Nate, the Fit Future MD, your host. Be sure to shop at InsterCell.com. Pick you up a cool, inspirational t shirt today. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with somebody that needs it, and let's get started. So, it's the Sharp Mind Show. We got to start off with our money. So, why are stocks sliding? And should you be worried? Right. So, yesterday, you know, was basically a sell off all day, right? Like basically everything I've looked at in the past 6 months was all down yesterday, right? So the big one, obviously, that's down is Hims. Hims is down to $36 right now, right? You're talking about something that was almost $60. You know, let's see, see if it'll come up for me. But it was $60, you know, a few weeks ago. Now it's sitting at $36, right? So, should you be worried? No, you should not be worried, right? If at all, you should be considering this a buying opportunity, right? Especially something. So, Hims basically is, a pharmaceutical company or a pharmaceutical brand that basically has better marketing than everybody else, right? It's basically taking uh, drugs, from these other companies and putting their sticker on it and doing better than everybody else. But they are a profitable company, 53 cents a share, right? And I can't get the chart to come up. But yeah, so it's down 43% in the last 6 months, right? This is the kind of thing we're looking for, right? As a value investor long term, you're looking for that good stock that's pulled back, right? And that's what this is. I'm looking for an entry price, low 30s, so 31 and under. So hopefully we can get to that. But long term, this is going to be, not financial advice, obviously, but anyway. So the whole board is like that right now, right? The whole board is pulled back. Like I say, after AMD's huge run up, right? They pulled back yesterday 4%. So keep that in mind. You say even Nvidia was down almost 3.5%. SoFi was down almost 12%. Right. So a lot of these companies that have been popping are giving up their gains back. Right. I don't know if retail investors needed the money or if it's just, a part of regular cycles. Doesn't matter. Um, you know, let's say the stock market's supposed to do this, right? It's not just supposed to do this. So keep that in mind. If you can get a good stock here and sell it here, you know, up like that, then you have a lot better chance of making more money than just the regular S&P 500, right? So, which is the goal. Let's say S&P 500, I think was up like 20 something percent. So it's going to probably be sitting at like 14 or 15% at the end of December, January 1st. So, keep that in mind. I say use this holiday season as a buying opportunity here for your long-term investing. All right. Let me know what you think about stocks right now in the comments below. What do you think about this little pullback we're having right now? All right. So, all right, this episode is brought to you by Dylan and Davina. The Adventure Begins, which is my best-selling authors, my best-selling author wife's book, my best-selling. I don't know how to say it, but anyway, it's my wife's children's book. So please check that out if you're interested. All right, my best-selling author's wife, my best-selling author wife's book, my best-selling. Anyway, all right. So weekend's coming. I got to preview my Panthers versus the Falcons here. So last time we played the Falcons, we shut out the Falcons. They got 0 points, right? It's very rare in the NFL to have a shutout. But the Falcons offense struggles as much as the Panthers offense, and it's basically very similar right now because the Falcons, are basically a rush heavy team. They're really their only good player is Bijan Robinson, or only elite player at this point. Michael Penix Jr. is just not really doing much this year. Just like Bryce Young's really not doing much this year. So Rico Dowdle for the Panthers has a quad injury. He basically sat out practice yesterday on Thursday. He is expected to play and have a heavy load. So that's going to be good. Like I say, this one is in Atlanta, right down the street. But I'm definitely not expecting a high scoring game in this one. I'm expecting, a lot of running of the football, a lot of grinding the clock out. Hopefully the Panthers can pull off the victory again against the Falcons. Let's say the Panthers are 500. We just lost to a 1-8 team, so not really coming off looking any better. So let me know what you guys think about the Panthers Falcons matchup. Who you got? Who's winning this game? Like I say, it's basically the matchup of the running backs and which quarterback plays worse. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below about the Panthers and the Falcons on Sunday. All right, on to life coaching today. This one's a tough one. Lady writes in, my insurance is skyrocketing next year. Should I go self-pay? I say, and that's a tough question because that's going to depend on, I say it's going to depend on what your health is, right? If you are a healthy individual that barely goes to the doctor, you say you might call in for some cold medicine or something like that once a year. It might be, so if they're upping your premium from $1,000 to $2,000, it might be better to put $1,000 a month away in some sort of savings account to pay for your health care, right? But I will say this, let's say if I do the math on mine, right? Our family plan was last year was $1,000, so it's probably gonna be higher this year. So you're talking about 12 grand automatic, plus you have a $4,000 deductible per person, right? So keeping that in mind, so say everybody hits the deductible, you're talking about, family of 4, everybody hitting the deductible, 16 grand, you're talking about $28,000 before the insurance even picks up anything, right? So that's basically the bet you're going at, right? Like you're basically saying, is my health care going to be more than $28,000? And 99% of the time that's going to be a no. But if you have to be hospitalized, you're talking about 50, 100 grand here. So it's a tough choice, right? It's a tough choice to put you in a tough situation. Luckily, medical debt does not go against your credit score anymore. So it can't keep you from getting apartments, can't keep you from getting jobs, that kind of thing. Obviously, I think most people, if they end up with, you know, 16,000 or $20,000 in medical debt anyway, they'll probably end up bankrupt anyway, right? On the debt. Um, so really that's the idea. So do you have something else to lose, right? Because you go into bankruptcy, then they can start taking your assets, start taking stuff like that. So you start taking your retirement account, start taking, everything, 401ks. So that's really what you're betting against, right? You're betting that, hey, I'm going to be healthy. Um, and that's what the insurance companies know, right? And that's why they keep upping premiums. But also, if everybody has to be on a plan and 60% of the people that are on the plan are unhealthy, right? Like I say, when they did the math for my job, we were paying like 1.1 million in premiums, and then it was costing the insurance company like 1.4 million, right? To keep everybody, or to cover everybody, right? Like to actually whatever they were getting, or so they were losing money, and they were losing money on this for years, and that's why, and they're coming after the money now, right? Like, so, but there are ways to go about doing self-care, self-pay. Like I say, there's doctors that take, cash only. I think there's a company called like Zion or something that helps cover the gaps and stuff like that. But um, so this one's really going to be up to the person. For me, like I say, I would do everything in my power to get some sort of health insurance, some sort of catastrophic health insurance. But I do understand that even catastrophic health insurance now is very, very expensive. So um, let me know what you would do in this person's situation. If your insurance goes from $500 to $2,000 a month, like obviously most people can't pay the $2,000 a month, so it's basically forcing them into it. But if you're sick, you have to pay it. I mean, it is what it is. But if you're healthy, you might take the risk, and see if you can force the health insurance companies to decrease the prices. Obviously, if you're a business and you're seeing this kind of stuff, like you're just eating the cost, and that just takes away from between tariffs and all the other fixed costs going up. Are you able to stay in business doing stuff like this, right? So let me know what you think. Would you go self pay here, um, or would you try to pay the premium, and or would you shop around and see if there's a different place to actually buy the stuff instead of from your employer, right, or wherever you're getting your insurance? So let me know what you would do in the comments below. All right. And so the last thing of the day, we got the quote of the day, and it says, "You say you want financial freedom, but are you living for it, or are you waiting for it? Are you living for financial freedom, or are you waiting for financial freedom?" Right. So basically, this means, are you trying to get lucky to get to financial freedom, or are you actually having the mindset, the skill set, and the habits to get to financial freedom? Right. Are you living the financial freedom lifestyle, the journey? Right. So basically, what would that look like? Right. If you were really trying to get to financial freedom, you would basically live on one salary. So if you're a couple or a married couple, you got two salaries, you would live on one salary, and you completely invest the other salary, right? That means you would cook more at home, you wouldn't go out to eat, you wouldn't spend money on vacations and traveling and stuff like that. You would invest 50% of your money or more, to try to get there faster. Like I say, if you can, in 5 years, if you can get to $500,000 uh, in your brokerage accounts, you're talking about really, you're talking about really having a big heads up on everything, right? Um, so if you're making 10% on $500,000, that's 50 grand. If you're making 20%, that's 100 grand. So, you know, if you're making an extra 100 grand a year after 5 years of sacrifice, you reinvest 50 and take out 50, you're really having a lot better life. Or if you're reinvesting the whole 100, you can see how all of a sudden, you can really get ahead of the game going for financial freedom, right? And say even if you don't get to financial freedom, you know, in 5 years, you're still so far ahead of the game that your life just becomes better and easier, right? So that's really why I started going for financial freedom. Um, but I also chose to try to do it in a way where I didn't have to give up anything, right? And luckily for us, we did live off one salary. We always have said that we could do it, live off one salary. So when you get it up where things are working out, then you know get on lean fire at that point and continue to ride it out. So, but let me know in the comments below: are you living for it or are you waiting for it? Right. I'm Nate. I'm the Fifth Future MD, and I'm a life coach. If you're looking to get to financial freedom, learn how that operates, learn how that works. Instead of waiting for financial freedom, you're living for financial freedom. Hit me up in the DM for life coaching, or sign up in the link in the description. Shop at InstaSell.com. Pick you up a cool inspirational T-shirt. Check out my wife's book, Dylan and Davina: The Adventure Begins, from best-selling author Meredith Dillon Johnson. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.